so now it's $50K that I'm just putting up just to buy the business and the building separately.
So let's get this straight. You're putting up $50K on a $1.5 million property, and you're getting $1 million equity out of it.
Damn near.
Bro, people need to know this.
If you're looking to manifest your legendary vision with a proven one-on-one coaching system, DM me with the word legend, and we'll talk about how I can help you craft and take action on your legendary vision. Let's go.
Called Decide to Finish, right? And Decide to Finish is going to be, to me, similar to what like the marathon was for Nipsey, right? So like the Decide to Finish is like an ideology, it is a lifestyle, it's a mantra that you can live through, and like everything that I do is going to be wrapped up into deciding to finish, you know? So that's going to be like my DJing, my social, if I do any like speaking or coaching or anything of that nature, clothing, you name it, everything is gonna be wrapped under Decide to Finish. And yeah, that's really that. And it really came from this is where it came from, right? So there's a line on College Dropout where Kanye is saying, I forgot the specific bar, but it was like, oh, you graduated? And he was like, nah, I decided I was finished. And I was like, oh, that's me. Like, oh, you still at Wall Street? You got promoted? Nah, I decided I was finished. You know, so that's where it came from.
But then one of my other coaches, he was like, you don't have an audience. Nobody knows who you are. Like, how many followers do you have? I was like,
but that's not
12,000.
If you have one follower, you have an audience. So I don't know if I agree with that.
Yeah, and so that kind of like shook me a little bit. Yeah. But I was like, all right. The main thing is like I know I have a structure for the coaching. You know what I mean? Legendary Vision coaching is 3 pieces.
Oh wow, yeah, so it's not up.
Right, it's just exposure therapy, write the vision and make it plain, and then it's execute, and then if there was a 4th one, it would be execute and review.
Okay.
And so like, and that's the piece where I started talking to you about execution.
Right.
And you know, we do the execution season thing, and I feel like a part of execution is accountability, but also like having fellowship with people that you really that are like-minded, you know.
100%.
So yeah, that's kind of, I want to do legendary vision coaching, but then like everything else that I am and I'm about, I want to help people do that too. You know what I mean? Like when I transitioned out of the military, I like 3x my income within like 6 months because through these programs, you know what I mean? But I'm like, how do I show people how to, you know?
Who would be your target person to coach? Would it be ex-military people?
I think,
because I would imagine like to get your first couple of customers or whatever, you would rely on your immediate network, right?
Yeah.
But then a lot of the times, like I'll watch like David and Donnie when they're coaching people, and they'll always bring up like who's your avatar, you know what I mean? So if you have the ideal person, or like the ideal person you want to coach looks like a person that just got out the military, they're entering the workforce, or they're trying to transition, you know, the skills they have in the workforce while utilizing the benefits they have, you know, from the military and stuff like that. That might be the person you target. I was just all talking about, I don't know if that's what you want, but it probably would be in your best interest to target those type of people and even start running ads. Yeah.
That's real.
Word.
Yeah, there was a thought that I had that was like, if I chose one specific market, then I could like, I guess one of the fears was like, maybe I don't want to be known as one particular type of coach, you know what I mean?
But why not? Because like coaches,
You're right.
the most successful coaches are niche. You know what I mean? Yeah,
right.
Or you look at Phil Jackson, like I read Phil Jackson's book a long time ago or whatever, but I mean, you know, he's one of the most winningest coaches in all of pro sports, and he stood by the triangle his whole career.
True.
Different teams, different players, whatever, but his system was the triangle offense. And it doesn't matter like who you were or whatever, like that was his specialty. You got people like Mike D'Antoni. I'm not even a sports guy, so these references is like, I don't know. But apparently Mike D'Antoni's offense. His teams suck at defense, right? But they'll score 140 points.
Yeah.
That's his MO.
Wow.
Teams hire him because we want an offensive coach. I don't have too many more sports references in me, but you get what I'm saying, right? So like, having a niche is really good. It's not a bad thing.
Yeah.
Like when you're trying to become the best in your field, you have to specialize in something. Like if Steph Curry just started trying to dunk, we'd be like, bro, what you doing? Like, go shoot some threes. You know what I'm saying? We
hate this guy now.
We don't want Steph Curry on the team doing dunks, bro. Like you need to go shoot the three. That's what you're good at.
The thing
you
is,
know what I'm
it's
saying?
way more exciting when he does a simple dunk because he does threes all the time.
Right, exactly.
I don't know why.
But we don't want to do that. Like,
That's
bro,
true, that's true.
pass you the ball to get this three off, dog. Do not try to drive to the bucket and dunk. That's not true. Like, don't do it. So yeah, basically find what you're an expert at, because that's why somebody would give you, millions of dollars, because you can do something that nobody else can do, or you specialize in a field that nobody else specializes in. So specialization is where the bread is at.
That's real.
Even like doctors, like they go to med school and stuff to specialize in something. You're not like a doctor, like when you practice, like somebody you went to school with, Nate or something like that. Like he's a surgeon, but he only does foot surgery.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you feel me? So it's like specialization.
Yes.
That's where it's at, bro.
You're right, man. I think the thing with me is the fact that veterans have such a broad range of experiences. Like I was a dental technician that focused on oral surgery at one point.
Wow.
So
that's what's up. I did not know that. That's cool.
Yeah, I mean it was kind of cool, but it has nothing to do with.
So it's kind of cool.
No, I really appreciated those 5 years, but so yeah, that's kind of where. So I'm like, there's a lot of people that are like, man, I was deployed a lot and I did this. I'm like, I don't have that experience. So that's where my level of, I guess that's my, like, I don't know, just a thought. Like, I don't want to do it wrong, but I guess there's really no wrong way of doing it as long as you're doing it.
I think, especially when we starting out, you gotta try a bunch of different stuff to see what works, what sticks, and then that's how you get your success story. So like, once you like successfully coach a person and go through that whole process, you'll figure out what you liked about it, what you didn't like about it, how they reacted to it, and just get the reps under your belt. And then it'll kind of reveal itself from there after the work, I feel like.
That's a good point.
Because I mean, it's probably, you gotta go through some trials, tribulations and stuff. I'm pretty sure like not every single person that we end up interacting with is gonna love us, so you probably gotta figure it out a little bit.
I can't imagine anybody being like, you know what, that Brent Jackson,
I can't, bro. It's like,
I can't stand this guy.
Hey, not everybody's cup of tea, man, no matter what. And that's cool. You gotta be cool with that. As long as you know that you operating righteously, like you can't really be worried about what somebody else thinks. But it's always gonna be.
I believe that too, man. Even though I don't want that to be true, but I know it's true.
You just gotta be prepared for it.
Right. And so like right now, in terms of like, if you had like what's your whole plan or strategy right now?
Yo, just read you my to-do list goals for the week.
Yeah, I was about to
had them written down.
show you my notes too.
So as far as this week, it's a lot I still gotta get done, but I want to file for the 2 LLCs. One is gonna be the decide to finish. The person that's gonna be like my personal, which I'm still kind of figuring out because somebody asked me that. Oh,
decide to finish,
and that's trademark too. So you know what I'm saying. I filed the trademark. That's gonna, you know what I'm saying. That's like, so it's perfect. So
yeah,
decide to finish, and you can light me up on that.
Oh my
So
gosh,
cheap.
my guy.
So I came up with this concept called decide to finish, right? And decide to finish is gonna be, to me, similar to what like the marathon was for Nipsey, right? So like the decide to finish is like an ideology, it is a lifestyle, it's a mantra. that you could live through, and like everything that I do is gonna be wrapped up into deciding to finish, you know. So that's gonna be like my DJing, my social. If I do any like speaking or coaching or anything of that nature, clothing, you name it, everything is gonna be wrapped under decide to finish, and yeah, that's really that. And it really came from this is where it came from, right? So there's a line on College Dropout where Kanye is saying, I forgot the specific bar, but it was like, oh, you graduated? And he was like, nah, I decided I was finished. And I was like, oh, that's me. Like, oh, you still at Wall Street? You got promoted? Nah, I decided I was finished. You know, so that's where it came from. Yeah, that's it, bro. So, these things is durable.
That is so fire, and I think you mentioned that to me previously too.
Yeah, for sure.
That's awesome.
Appreciate you. So yeah, outside of that, I gotta get the business bank account for that. I had got a previous round of funding. That's how I raised all the money for the marijuana thing that didn't work out. I still have that, but they just contacted me and said I could do a second round of funding. Not that I need it, but who's gonna turn down a round of funding? So I got to get my business bank accounts and stuff in order for that. So that's what I was telling you. I was gonna go to the bank. I need to figure out a giveaway to increase platform engagement on the community line of that. So I got that text message service for all of the people that come through the factory, just anybody in general. I need to figure out how to get more people to engage with that. My iPhone does this thing where it like eliminates. Got to create 3 mixes. Definitely behind on that. And then I want to drop a vlog every Thursday. Right. So we already dropped on Monday, but I want to drop on every Thursday. And then taking care of like everything for the travel business, bro. So those are my goals for the week.
That's a lot.
It's a lot. It's a lot to get done, but
that's good.
Just gotta focus.
Right.
You know, focus, knock it out. Less social media time, less sleep.
Right.
More work.
That's so real.
That's everything, bro. What about you?
That's a lot. That sounds so exciting.
Yeah, it's cool.
The amount, but it's so aligned to you and what you do.
I'm trying to be that.
Yeah, especially the community app thing.
Yeah.
Because I think that's one of your specialties, making people feel comfortable, setting the tone. It's just you're so good at that, bro. Like,
thank you,
masterful.
Appreciate it.
Like, even when your stories pop up, it's like,
I appreciate that, man. I'll put some effort into them, Jay. So I'm just like, all right, you know. But at the end of the day, that's the thing. Like, even when I have days where like I treat the stories as just like, remember Tumblr?
Yes.
I don't know if you're ever on Tumblr. I used to love Tumblr, man. So I just kind of treat the stories like that. It's just a mood board, you know. So even if like nobody ever even views my stories, I just needed to do that. Had an archive somewhere, bro.
Let me show you what I got.
You feel me? Or just what I'm thinking about, you know?
Yeah.
Like how I feel.
I like that, bro.
Yeah.
Bro, yeah, so I split mine into a few different categories too. Like, in terms of real estate, but I'm really focused on real estate and business acquisitions right now.
Which is fire.
Yeah, man. I'm actually working with Pierre to help me with the business acquisition piece. And there's another broker that I really want to introduce to the community. His name is Romel. He delivers. So, so in terms of real estate right now, I'm focusing on the refi process. So the refi is going to help me do the business acquisition piece of the business. So, my whole goal right now is to focus on sellers that actually own their business, so that I can basically buy that real estate separately and then just get that refinance, because
That's powerful.
yeah, man, because like right now there's an assisted living business. My fault, bro. My bad. This is assisted living business that it's the real estate is valued at 1.5 million, and I'm doing that strategy. So the value that I could actually pull out would come to like $1 million.
Yeah.
When
So that's the equity you put $1 million out
put it on the.
Get the whiteboard. I thought about letting you sit on this side too. I was like, yo, I know he's gonna hit the whiteboard at some point. I literally said that in my head.
All right, so
whiteboard crazy.
So the building. Dang, this joint is. I'm trying to. And I'm still like every time I talk to a broker about this, they're like, I think you could actually, yeah, you can do that. And so this is something I haven't heard of, and I follow Dan Pena's model of what you call it, the quantum leap strategy. But anyway, so the building is the value is let's just call it 1.5 million. You can refinance, let's say, you can refinance up to 80% of the building. And that comes out to, I believe it's like 1.08 million or something like that. Oh, damn, let me get it wrong. Yeah, so it comes to about 1 million. Right? And so if I buy the business for 500,000, and then the building is, I'm buying that for 500,000 as well. That means when it comes to my down payment, the down payment for this is 25K. And then basically, so now it's 50K that I'm just putting up just to buy the business and the building separately.
So let's get this straight. You're putting up 50K on a 1.5 million property, and you're getting 1 million equity out of it.
Damn near.
Bro, people need to know this.
And so basically, and by the way, this business generates about 400,000 a year already, and it's sitting on 4 acres of land. So you know I have an expansion plan.
Oh my God.
But basically that. Oh, my phone is right there. But
You need it?
Well, shoot. I just want to make sure this math is right. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure.
1.5 million. It's like I do this in my head all the time, but I just want to. Okay, so it's 1.2 million. I was way off. My bad. All right, so now the value of this building is 1.5 million, but if I were to refinance, it would be 1.2 million. But so the building is 500,000. So basically, when I go to refinance, this is just nothing but a new loan. This refinance, I can basically. So my loan proceeds, my refi proceeds, and this is all I'm doing, even real estate development, this is what I think about, aside from cash flow. But my refi proceeds would be roughly, the difference between that 500K and that 1.2 million, and that's at 700K. And there's a lot of minutia, when it comes to the process and stuff like that, paperwork and everything. But the whole goal for me is to get that untaxed revenue. And so once I get that, I'm going straight to another business so that I can basically do the same thing. So over time, the businesses that I buy, they're gonna be bigger businesses. They're gonna generate more cash flow. And so with the same strategy, but just with bigger numbers. Imagine this just having more zeros. I'll probably just do that until I can do that till I'm like 93.
Wow.
And so I just want to be able to teach people that. But for me, there's this feeling like, should I talk about it before? I just want to be able to do it first before I talk about it. But I'm in this phase where I'm like, I'm so excited about it.
Yeah.
But anyway, dang.
I think you should bring us with you. You know what I mean? Like as you talk about it as you're doing it. You know what I mean? Like document as you're doing it. You clearly know everything that's going on. I would love to take the journey with you as you do your first deal.
Yeah, I'm thinking about a series called Development Rights.
Yeah.
But that's more so for real estate development. But
just I would say just do it. It'll refine itself as it goes along. It'll refine itself. Like when artists make albums and stuff, they don't make like the final album that you hear, whatever, they'll make like 30 songs, and then they'll pick the 12 best or the 13 best. That's basically the same thing you're doing.
That's so real.
Yeah.
Okay.
They just get in the studio, start writing it out, and then it's just like, oh, okay, I like this. Oh, okay, this is gonna sequence this way. Oh, okay, now I think I know which direction I'm going. Yeah, it's like recording a record.
God, yes, man. Yes, thank you.
Cause bro, that's incredible.
Yeah, man. But the thing is, like, I'm gonna make sure that all of my friends can do it too.
Yeah.
Same strategy.
Yeah.
But that's why I'm like, bro, the sky is the limit.
There you go, bro. Cause like, okay, you got the knowledge, right? And then, like you said, you haven't done the first deal, but
Yeah.
as you go through the first deal, you're gonna learn even exponentially more, and then that's how you're gonna be able to like successfully guide us through it.
That's real, man.
It's powerful, bro. This is,
But that was my bad. But yeah, that's like a major focus of this
That's
week.
crazy.
Aside from the gig, just need to.
So what's the next step in that?
So the next step right now, I actually I got the term sheet for my refi
Okay.
for my house, and then the paperwork for the appraisal is out right now. So they just have to appraise it. The thing is, in 2018 it appraised at $412,000. So now if it just has to appraise at 500, and we good.
Why 500 though?
That's the target that I said, you know what I'm
Gotcha.
saying? And I think that's like the limit in the market. But Zillow was trying to play me. Zillow's like, they put it in for like way less than that.
Nah.
I'm like, bro. But then I sent in the appraisal, they were like, oh. So
There you go.
now I'm like, okay, man, I'm just praying that goes through so that we could go to the next steps.
Wow. Bro, you lock this down, this is gonna be crazy. Not only for you, but like for the people you could potentially help.
Real.
And that's what it all comes down to. It's just like, yo, if you're doing something that adds value, that can actually help people, it's like, that's a win-win, you know?
Yeah, man. Yeah, and then, honestly, I went through this phase where it was like, you know how when you're super young, you just talk about all your dreams?
Yeah.
It seems a little naive or immature, but I think that going through those moments, it makes me a little fearful about talking about this stuff. At the same time, though, I just want to, it's like, bro, we have to like share the journey.
You have to.
The way
And
that
then,
you do, I like that.
and then that holds you accountable too. So like the reason, like that whole list I texted it to one of my friends that I always talk business with. I'm like, bro, I texted him on Sunday. I texted him that whole list. I'm like, yo, next Sunday I should be texting you that I finished all of this. And if not, I probably should have given myself like a punishment if I didn't. But at least somebody else knowing that I wasn't on my stuff like can at least mess with your head a little. Like we gotta start putting a little bit of pressure on ourselves. You know, time is of the essence.
Honestly, man, like just
So somebody has to hold you accountable for this stuff. And I think talking about it is good. Because now the next time we had a conversation, I don't like, oh, you told me that last time, bro. Like, what's up? You know?
Right. And you know what?
And
man?
it's healthy. It's healthy.
Right.
You know, it's not like
Right.
coming down on each other, but
Yeah.
we just, iron sharpens iron.
Literally.
Yeah.
And I've learned a lot through you just by being able to watch how you operate.
Right.
On the business side too. But then also that social media is a monster, bro. Like the way that it can really help guide your whole vision.
Mm-hmm.
For me, I was on that with LinkedIn. Like I think I'm so comfortable or way more comfortable on LinkedIn than Instagram.
Bro, LinkedIn is powerful though. Like, yo, I've seen so many people go viral and then like their life changes on LinkedIn because you'll have like that one post that has like, you know what I mean, 500 comments, but those are comments from like CEOs. You know what I'm saying? It's a whole different bag of people that respond to you on LinkedIn than it is like on regular social media. So LinkedIn is where it's at, bro. And if that's what you like, I would say go all in.
Yeah, and that's really the move now, like LinkedIn Live and stuff like that. I'm literally starting it out, but I'm just.
And those are the type of people you trying to appeal to anyway. It's like professionals and they just go all in, bro.
People that's just trying to get it in that realm.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, you've helped me like raise the level of vibration, or even like they call it. Some people call it the temperature. noticing I'm like moving a lot different at this point, just because I know that there's this accountability measure.
Exactly.
So like, I cannot let Brent down, or you know what I'm saying, like, and letting him like you're not gonna be super effective if I'm like, don't post or something like that.
Right.
But I feel like knowing that you know what I expect of myself,
right,
it helps me keep myself accountable.
Bro,
you know
that goes both ways, because like even when you were telling me, like when we were doing this, you were like, you want to do it monthly or bi-weekly? I was like, bro, let's do it bi-weekly, because that way it forces me, you know what I mean?
Yes.
So like you inspire me in that way, and just the way that you're organized and you carry things through, you really execute on everything. I'm like, nah, bro, we gotta do it.
Yeah.
And we gotta get through it, because I know you're gonna hold me accountable. We're gonna hold each other accountable. We're gonna lift each other up.
Right.
That's the whole thing about building communities, though. Like right now, me and you, we have a community, but that's why communities are so important. Because it's just like, yo, you're around like-minded people, and then you all can not only hold each other accountable, but then you can feed off each other. You know, like these type of conversations open my mind up. These type of things open my mind up. You know, so I gotta keep building. Gotta think bigger. Like he was like, yo, you just add a couple more zeros on it. I'm like, what? What? You get it like that? You put up 50K on the 1.5. I need to know that stuff is possible.
Yeah,
so
like I see you, like I say this to you all the time, and I honestly I think about this with you all the time. I'm like, bro, I see you owning radio stations and just hospitality services. I don't know if you, but how does that land on you when I say something like that?
No, man, I take it in stride. And it's like the fact that you see it in me, I see it in myself. Because I see a lot of things in myself, but like you were saying about visualization, like you're really good at visualizing things, putting things into actual visions, you know, and not just kind of thinking it and pushing it to the side. I think it's power in that, power in speaking it. So I appreciate that.
Yeah, man, for sure, bro. I'm noticing too, like I've realized a while back that like I would really like to compliment people.
That's what.
Like, even at Howard, I was like, I would just be, you know, on the train or something like, yo, bro, those SBs?
Word, shout out to the SB.
Right.
Wow.
Like, bro, those are fire, bro.
Yeah.
It's like, yo, people be like, yo, man, I appreciate that, man. Like,
for real.
And it just raises your spirits a little bit.
Absolutely.
But then the podcast thing came, and I'm like, this is a perfect way for me to be like, look, here's my friend.
Wow.
This is what they do.
And that's what you were saying earlier. You were like, yo, you know how to facilitate, you know how to moderate and lift other people up.
Yeah.
Bro, that self-awareness is that's the way to millions, you know what I mean? Know your strengths.
Yeah.
That's your niche. Like you were saying, bro.
Right. And that's
Is it niche or niche? I don't know, like because I want people to be like, yo, he's like wild, uneducated.
I always think about that too. It's like, is it tomato or tomato? Who says tomato? Like
nobody. I literally never heard tomato or potato. Or, like, where did I get this from?
Exactly. Yeah, man. And I think that's why that was the whole point of me starting that thing, Legendary University, because it was really about one thing. It's like the vision. Like the vision, write the vision, make it plain. It's simple. And then as soon as you write that down, bro, you've already taken that thing out of your mind and you put it into the world. So now all you have to do is execute.
Right.
And then after that, it's gonna be bad at first. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's the thing. We gotta. Yeah, it's not gonna be perfect.
Yeah.
That's something I had to get over too. I would have been doing all of this stuff a lot earlier if I wasn't so much in my head about everything being perfect or looking a certain way. Even now, one of my boys who like uploads YouTube content every day is just like, bro, he was just like, bro, everything doesn't have to be a production. He's like, you can just go up. I'm just like, that's just not me. You know, I can't just go up with something like crazy like that. But you know, there's work to be done with that. But I guess we all in our heads a little bit.
Yeah.
We human, man. We human. We gotta give ourselves grace.
Yeah, man. But I really like the fact that you like, that's not me though.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because there's a limit.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like.
Right.
You're
like that's just not me.
There's a picture that you're cool with.
Yep.
But then there's another one that you're like, the angle or the background is.
Right.
You know what I mean? I just like the way that you kind of stand on your brand identity.
Yeah, for sure.
You know what I mean? I think I do it not haphazardly, but I don't defensive about it. You know what I mean? I'm just like, I don't think that's me, but I like the fact you're like, that's not me.
Right, exactly.
You know what I'm saying? But that's what I'm trying to do right now. I think it's working, bro.
It's working, bro.
Like, more pictures.
Yeah.
Like Caleb is gonna help us.
Salute to Caleb. Word.
These because I just gonna chop these up and.
Yeah. I gotta do a better job at it. And
so a strategy to get that was one of the things I want to talk to you about. Like I noticed that reels, there's a difference between reels and your posts. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, I like the way that you do them, but I'm like, it's not a muscle that I have yet. You know what I mean?
yeah, I haven't quite figured that out either. And from what I'm seeing, just based on my own and based on like what I see from people, the whole reel thing, I think I'm gonna stop doing it because it hasn't really worked for me. I don't really get that much engagement on the reels, and I think that works better like on TikTok. I'm on TikTok. I don't really post like that, but reels is like the rip-off version of TikTok.
And shorts.
Yeah. So it's just like I'm gonna just start putting it up on the regular videos and stuff because just gotta stick to what we know. Bro.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like I might just have to miss out on that one. I don't know, man. I'm not a real guy, not a TikTok guy. I try to throw stuff up there, but whatever.
Yeah. I think I'm trying to get to the point where I can post once a day, but I don't want to be salesy either.
Right,
you know what I mean?
right.
That's the only thing.
I feel like I got kind of salesy lately.
Nah, you haven't.
You don't think so?
No.
I feel like every time I post, I'm like, link your bio.
But isn't that what it's supposed to be?
Yo, this cool, but hit that link.
Make more offers.
You feel me?
Yo, go ahead and hit that link, subscribe.
You feel me?
But that's the thing too. It's like, people that don't like Grant Cardone because he's so salesy. Yeah. It's like if you don't, the thing that you don't like, it will never become sometimes. And I'm like, that's good and bad at the same time. Because I know people that shy away from sales because they had like a bad sales experience and now they don't ever want to do sales, but now they want to know why their business is not going. It's like, well, sales, you gotta make you gotta make sales. And so that's what I'm learning. But I think what's most important is like the sales acquisition strategy. So I think there's pillar content and then micro content. And then after the micro content, the people get an opportunity to learn a little bit more about you and what you do. And I think at that point, once they click, I think they've already decided that they're interested in working with you. But I think once they get exposed to your infrastructure, I think that lead gives them a little bit more context for the payoff, of engaging with you. But right now, I just want to focus on making good quality content so that the brand image and strategy aligns with the execution piece.
Solid.
Appreciate that.
Solid.
Yeah, man, this is fun as hell.
Yeah, man, I love it, bro.
So yeah, man, like I'm honestly, I'm happy because we're able to. Cause I think for like the past year or so, we've been like, yo, what you been up to, bro?
I know. And I love those conversations.
It's like, I'm like, damn, bro, I know he's so busy, but that's good.
Good.
You know what I mean? But yeah, I was gonna ask like how the whole like being more active on social media, is that like changing the way you operate right now?
Man, let me see.
Yeah, I guess we can kind of go to. Oh yeah.
So, like what I've been noticing since I've been more active on social media and doing the YouTubes and stuff like that is that even if the posts, quote unquote, aren't like getting 50 million comments, likes, or views, anything like that, I'm noticing like my real life interactions are changing. People are always like, yo, I see you doing your thing on YouTube, see you doing your thing with the content, you taking it to another level, you inspire me, and that just lets me know that, I'm going in the right direction because I like what I'm doing. So at the end of the day, like I was telling you about the stories and everything like that, if nobody views my stuff at all, I like what it is. So that's really all that matters. I don't know if that's vain. I don't know if that's like, I don't know. But I feel like as long as I like it, that's all that matters. The rest will figure itself out.
If you're looking to manifest your legendary vision with a proven one-on-one coaching system, DM me with the word legend, and we'll talk about how I can help you craft and take action on your legendary vision. Let's go.